with his experience and passion for everything, he's probably the best steward for the series. And obviously, you look at it; it's been going to strength from the years that he's taken over. So, he's made a lot of investments back, into IndyCar, into Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and I couldn't think of a better person to lead the sport.
Yeah, for sure. What's your favorite race you've competed in, other than Nashville?
Again, the Nürburgring I think is amazing. Pikes Peak Hill Climb is absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, I've been really, really fortunate. Macau is absolutely amazing. Bathurst, all of the things that you kind of grow up and you read about or you see on TV and you go, oh, well, that'd be awesome to go drive there, and where I've had a chance to go and do that. So, that's been the dream. I've kind of had so many various places to go, but honestly, one of the coolest places is when I've gone and raced over in British Touring Car, because that was kind of the thing that got me started in motorsports. I was a real big fan of British Touring Car because, looking at Indy cars or F1 cars or whatever, it was cool, but they didn't look anything like the cars that I was driving on the street. And then when you go and look at British Touring Car, you see it, and they look like street cars. I mean, very aggressive street cars, but they look like street cars. And to be able to see a street car doing the things that that they were doing, I was blown away. So when I ended up going into British Touring Car, the first race I did at Brands Hatch was absolutely amazing. It was one of those things where it was just kind of blew me away in the sense of just the history of the place and the fans that were there and everything that was going on. It was just absolutely amazing to me. And that was probably the most special race that I think I've done.
Yeah. Do you have rivalries with other drivers, or do you try not to get into those?
I mean, you have to. We're competitors, you can't not, have a rivalry. I mean, I try to keep it on the track and try to keep it, clean. But, at the end of the day, we're hard competitors, and, my goal is to win. So, at the end of the day, you can't please everybody. And especially when you beat them, it becomes really hard to maintain a cordial relationship. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely have a few guys out there that, that I would consider, guys that I wouldn't go have a drink with. How's that? So,
yeah.
There are a few. I mean, but that's what this sport breeds. I mean, it's the nature of it is that we are just very, very aggressive people, and you're not going to make everybody happy.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like, though, that Matt Kenseth and Joey Logano might be having a beer one day, knowing their conversation on television last year.
Yeah, for sure. It is always funny, though, because it is one of those things, where you have no idea how relationships are going to develop, and you've got guys that are sworn enemies that become friends, and guys that are friends that become sworn enemies, and and literally race to race, that could change. Everybody tries to do what they can to win races, and that breeds competition.
As they say, and as Matt said, sometimes you're the bat, sometimes you're the ball.
that is it. Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug, and that's kind of how it works in motorsports. And and the thing is that you really can't. As much as we race, there are very few times or very few seasons where you can really be dominant, where you're constantly the bat or constantly the windshield. Usually it goes back and forth, and so you can't get too emotionally hung up on any one race or anything like that. You've got to really look at the bigger picture, and that's the only way you're really going to be competitive for a championship.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I should mention, now that you brought that up, you got to keep your cool when you're about to think about the big picture of winning a championship, and I have an example for that. Earlier this year, I got notification from the former team that I drove for in go-karts that apparently in the final championship race of the series I used to be in, apparently the guy that was leading the championship had only one lap left in the race, but got nudged by someone and intentionally wrecked him, earning himself a disqualification that cost him the championship.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? Just one turn away, all he had to do was keep his cool and just let the guy go past him, and he would have won the championship, but he just, in the final turn, just dumped him, and then it was on YouTube, actually, but I just remember being like, what the heck?
Yeah. Yep. It's unfortunate. There are a lot of guys out there that can't keep their emotions in check, and it costs you championships. And I think, being in the sport as long as I have, you realize you don't have those opportunities to win championships, very much. And so you've really got to be careful when you're on that run and you do have the opportunity to win. Is that you have to maximize every single race. You can't let your emotions go away with things, and I think there are too many guys that don't realize that. I think later on in their careers they'll reflect, exactly what they've lost, but sometimes in the heat of the moment they can't keep their cool. And I think that's one of the reasons for my success is that I rarely lose my cool when I'm in the car. It's very logical, very focused for me, and that allows me to hopefully not make too many mistakes.
Yeah. And the guy he wrecked was a rookie making his debut race. And so it's like, give the rookie a break and think about the big picture. And if you would have done that, you would have won the championship,
Right, exactly.
But yeah, when I was competing, that almost never happened. I only remember one time that another driver intentionally took another driver out. Because we all had respect in the series,
Yeah. It varies, though. I mean, there are times where you have respect for people, but there are also times where guys just get on your nerves, and eventually it's a bit too much. So I definitely drive people the way they drive me. If a guy is aggressive with me, then I'll do the same back. If the guy gives me room, then I'll give him room. And so I think that's the respect that you have to earn as a driver. But it's a tough thing, and it really is something where you have to be logical about it and check your emotions at the door.
Yeah, for sure. Have you come close to intentionally wrecking someone or intentionally nudging them, or nah?
No. I mean, nudging for sure. I mean, that's all part of the game. I mean, I don't think there's a race that the car doesn't come back that's got tire marks all over it. So, that's part of how the racing works. So I'm not worried about that. There are drivers that, like I said, you give it a little bit more room to. There are guys that will respect you and race you clean, and if they race you clean, you do the best to race them clean. And but then there are also the guys that'll race you hard, and if you're going to race me hard, and push me off the track or not give me the room to make a pass, then okay, then it's coming back at you. So there's been more than a few times where I put a fender on a guy to move him out of the way. So but I'd like to race where I don't have to do that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm all about clean and fairness, and nudging is one thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Rubbing is racing, but that's where that ends.
Yeah. And have you ever had a race where you've hit so many things or just had a really bad day to the point where it was like a Days of Thunder moment of like hitting the pace car?
Go hit the pace car. It's never been that. I've been fairly lucky that I've made a few mistakes, but like I said, not a lot. And I think the where I ended up with that type of day is usually I'm the pinball in the whole thing. I'm usually the guy that's kind of sitting there with just kind of driving around trying not to cause any problems, and then all of a sudden you're the bullseye. And so I've had a few days like that where it's been really, really frustrating. But that's it's like we always say, you could have worse days at the office. I get to race cars for a living, so at the end of the day, if that's the worst that happens, then I'm a lucky guy.
Yeah. Have you been to Unser karting at all?